Most creative careers don't follow a straight line. They go through uncertainty, rejection, reinvention, and relentless self-belief. We see the final performance, the polished voice, the applause, but we rarely see the years of hustle behind it.
I won't call genius. I call myself a middle-class hustler. People equate creativity with talent. For me, creativity means persistence, resilience, and practice. It is a very seasonal industry. You can't have a show every day.
So you're doing it professionally?
I was surviving on 4 hours of sleep. For me, it's never failure, it's redirection. Earlier, I was selling something else for someone. Now I'm selling my voice, my talent, my skill. Now you remove the face and you just hear the voice. You have to emote. You have to bring words to life. That's what voice actors do. And our voice is as unique as a thumbprint. It's the most important tool. We use our voice to seduce, flirt, negotiate, threaten someone. For me, the microphone is my weapon. Everything I do is around that. If you call an IVR, so the IVR voice is, please stay on the line. Someone will assist you shortly. And then on a Zomato ad, eat what you like, order now on Zomato and get up to 50% off. So there's this like rush of 6 seconds. Premium brand, you want to sound classy. Taj, where every area gives you comfort and luxury. Or something like Ambi Pure, har jagah wahi ehsaas, wahi fragrance. I asked them 2 questions. Do you know how to run a business? And are you thick-skinned? You have to understand how to price your skill or your talent. If you're not able to do that, what are you selling? People say, nahin, main paise ke liye nahi kar raha. Fir kiske liye kar rahe ho aap? You can't contact the big brands. The big brands hire professionals, which are agencies or production houses. We are now competing with the machines that we have built. They are really good, the voices, but I feel like now human voice will become sort of a luxury. The human voice also runs on experiences and memories, which AI cannot do.
Say if rejection is so guaranteed in such a creative line and stability is not, what makes worth the risk? Most creative careers don't follow a straight line. They go through uncertainty, rejection, reinvention, and relentless self-belief. We see the final performance, the polished voice, the applause, but we rarely see the years of hustle behind it. My guest today is someone who has lived that reality fully. She has worn many hats: a singer, a voiceover artist, an anchor, an entrepreneur, and a TEDx speaker. Her journey isn't about overnight success. It's about staying in the game when there is no guaranteed path. Tanya, welcome to Beyond Titles. Thank you so much for being here. Really looking forward to our conversation today. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me here. I'm excited. Looking forward to it.
So like I started on many hats, right? Singer, voiceover artist. You're an entrepreneur as well. So are you a genius or are you scattered all over the place that you want to do many things? So
I won't call not a genius, far from it. I call myself a middle-class hustler because I'm hustling every day. I've always been someone who gets bored very easily, but I also want to do a lot of things. And I've been exposed to so many things at a very young age. And, people equate creativity with talent. For me, creativity means, persistence, resilience, and practice. And and creative people, they have this constant spark within them, and one spark leads to another spark. And for me, that's always been me throughout. One idea has led to another idea, and I'm like, life is too short. Let me do this. So I'm jack of few trades, master of none, unfortunately. But long way to go, and giving my best.
So you think this diversity of skills has helped you? Or let's say if you were to look back what you started, and we'll get into that on the voiceover part, has this diversity of creative things, being a singer, being in the corporate job as well, has helped you? Or you, looking back, you would have gone, no, I want to go all in and that would have been better for me, for example?
So when I was in my corporate job, I always knew I wanted to do something with the entertainment scene. And I was just like, but I didn't, it was not like I quit and I was like, okay, I'm just going to follow my passion. And, coming from a middle class background, I had to be very practical about it. And I didn't want to put all my eggs in one basket. So I quit my job and I told my parents that I want to give myself 1 year. I saved up money and I want to give myself 1 year for music and let me see how it goes. And when I got into music, I quickly realized it is a very seasonal industry. You can't be singing every day. You can't have a show every day. So what do I do when I don't have shows? How do I earn my bread and butter and my cherries and my jam? How do I do it? And that's when I stumbled on voiceovers and voice acting. And then I started hosting shows. I was emceeing. So for me, the microphone is my weapon. Everything I do is around that. And for me, I wanted to go all into like one skill set, but one idea led to another. And I think that's what creative people are. The spark never dies. And so it's been fun. It's a lot to juggle. Like I walk a tightrope, but I'm happy that I wasn't in one thing, because for me, it's been a very fulfilling creative journey.
But now, are you happy at voiceover, or you still are,
I still have that itch that I want to. I still want to. I mean, I still do shows from time to time, singing. I want to get back fully recording music, but I'm juggling motherhood and work. So voiceovers is great. I get to wear a new mask. I'm acting without acting, just through my voice, and I get to be a new character. Sometimes I'm doing like 5 to 6 characters in one day, so it never gets boring or monotonous.
It's tough to flip between one actor to the other once you're in front of a mic.
Yeah, my kids don't know what character is coming their way.
So from the corporate, I mean, your career started more in the corporate, like as a sales manager.
Yeah.
And then you hustled, obviously, for Karaoke Night. I'm sure that was more of passion than, I think so, a line you were trying to get into, or it was just passion. And then finally you went into singing, right? So again, it was a very planned move, which you really said that I want to enter the creative line, or it was something more stumbled upon that, I have a great voice. Is this something I can do? I'm doing well in karaoke. Maybe I can take the next step forward. So how did that happen, that whole transition?
So it was the move to quit your corporate job and take up something and follow your passion was obviously a very, very planned move. I couldn't just afford to leave my job and, don't know what the future has in store for me. And for me, that itch of doing not just one thing, but doing a lot of things was there even in my job. So I would finish my job. I would finish my 9-to-5 sales job and then head for karaoke nights. It was great. It was a second income. So I was just like, woo.
So you were doing it professionally?
Yes, I was doing it professionally. I was surviving on 4 hours of sleep. And so this kida of doing too much has always been there in me. I like to be like creatively fulfilled and challenged at the same time. So I'd finish that. And at karaoke nights, because your family would say, "Arey kya awaaz hai, itna acha gaate ho." But that was not enough for me. I mean, I was like, so at karaoke nights when I would sing, I had random strangers coming up to me and saying, "Oh, do you have a band? You sing so well." And that kind of was like, oh, okay, maybe I can take this up, because these strangers have nothing. Why do they have to tell me? They were telling me that you're good, you sound good. Do you have a band? And that's when it was like, okay, so I continued working, saved up money, then said, okay, I'm going to quit and I'm going to give myself a year and a half, and I'm going to start a band. And when I started the band again, we had no recording, nothing. And I was able to get shows because I've been a salesperson. So I knew how to like sell and market. And we had no recording, we had no demo, nothing. But I think one small little demos we had created. But that's how I was selling the band, and we got like some of the biggest shows. And so then one thing led to another, and then I realized that singing is seasonal. What else can I do? Took up voiceovers, started hosting and emceeing shows, which I used to even do in my corporate job. So my boss was like, "Oh, you talk so well. You're a constant yapper. So why don't you anchor?" And I'm someone who's never said no to any opportunity. I'm just like, you don't know, what if this is my one shot? So I would say yes. So even when I was working, I would be hosting. I was handling magazines like Maxim and Sports Illustrated. So when we had the events and launches, I would be the one emceeing, and that was my training ground. So everything has always led to something or the other. And I'm someone who takes every opportunity that comes my way, because you don't know which door is the right door for you. So I like to open them all.
So your band was called Gravy Train.
Yeah.
How did it get formed? I mean, it's tough to form a band. It's tough to get, because you're not alone, right? You may be the singer, but then you need a guitarist, or you need the drummer.
Yeah.
So how did the formation happen? And like you said, you didn't have much recording. You went selling. How was that 2.5 years of band, which was there with you? Yeah. How was the experience? And what did you learn about yourself, singing, and so on?
So the first thing I learned in a band is that a check is split 4-5 ways. So that was very, I was like, oh no, this money would come and we're splitting it into 4 or 5 pieces. But no, there's so much learning in a band because it's not one person that carries the show. You have your band with you. And again, people I met, because I was somebody who's always been an extrovert, very outgoing. So some I had met at my karaoke nights and people said, oh, he's looking for a singer. And we got connected and we hit it off. And now each one of them is doing so great. We're all still in touch. But the band was and that was like my first band. So much to learn about professionalism on stage, how to behave, how to keep the crowd in control and, give your audience. There was so much learning, and learning all of that together as young individuals was quite an experience and something I'll never forget. And some of the best times traveling to new places. So there was so much, and that really taught me that, okay, it's because I'm somebody who's so used to working on my own. It taught me about team effort and teamwork, and that it all has to come together as one unit. So a band is like a big learning experience.
And at that time, social media was not so prevalent like post-COVID,
not
right?
At
so
all.
It was tougher to maybe today.
Yeah.
At least artists have one Instagram,
Yeah,
let's say,
yeah.
or a YouTube to
Yeah,
really
yeah.
make an outlet, right?
Yeah.
That time it was there, but it's not so prevalent like today, right? So it must be much tougher to get work at that time.
Yeah, I was getting the shows. There was no manager. We didn't have any manager. And for me, as I said, salespeople, you tell us to sell a pen, we'll sell a pen also. So I've always kept this, I've kept this sales thing in my mind. So I would probably my brother would record my video of me doing karaoke, and I would be like, we do covers and this, that. We started off with that before writing original music. And those little demos I would, show to my clients and get shows like that. And I think we formed the band, and our first show was December 2012, like a little Christmas show. We got to sing like 2-3 songs and very proudly announced that this is the launch of Gravy Train and this, that. But that's what you do.
Yeah, of course.
You got to sell your stuff. Yeah.
Marketing. Yeah.
And
everything in the world is that, I think so.
And that's how I remember we performed in Lucknow, and we did this really cool festival in Hyderabad, and where we performed inside a laser cage, and it was just this. There've been so much fun stuff we've done, but again, it all came from really hustling and making it happen, because that time there was only Facebook, SoundCloud. We didn't really have like Spotify and all that time. So that's how we were making it happen, and so tougher times, but we made it.
So this question which I wrote comes more from movies, which I see. Yeah, 2.5 years and your band implodes.
Yeah.
What I would say.
Yeah.
So my question is something we see this a lot in the creative industry or the singing industry. Why did it implode? Is it because high egos was an issue? Collaboration was an issue? Money getting split 5 ways was an issue? Or the business side was not working out?
Yeah.
Because this is something not very common, right?
Yeah.
We do see this across a lot in the music industry, where bands get together. Either if you're doing too well is a problem, or if you're not doing too well, then it's definitely a problem. But even if you're doing too well, then you get into a problem.
True.
So what happened to you, and why did it happen to you?
Nothing. In fact, we've never had any creative differences or anything like that. My guitarist, Karan, he wanted to make the transition to Bombay. So he went there. He's now one of the top producers there, doing stuff, a lot of jingles and all. And so everybody just wanted to explore their own thing. And we were still young when we had all met up. And I think you suddenly realize that, I have so much more to explore. And we all wanted to explore that. So I think when one person, moved to a different city, we knew, this is not. So we all ended on a great note, and we're still all in touch. And
but you
friends.
didn't end up, trying to form a new band?
It was very tough that time, because, if somebody's moved to a different city, how do you rehearse and all of that?
New people?
So then we were like, I think everybody wanted to explore their own thing, because we suddenly got this taste of stardom and success, and also just explore. I don't think stardom and success, but probably that, we do have this talent within us, and we do have this skill individually, all of us. So we were like, let's explore that, and let's explore more opportunities. And for me, I was also I had started doing voiceovers on the side. I was doing a lot of emceeing. So I was like, cool, I'm also going to explore. It was a good run while it lasted. So let's see. And I'm somebody who always takes things very positively. I'm like, for me, it's never failure, it's redirection. So I'm like, where do I pivot from here? Because, every time you get a no or a sort of an obstacle in your way, you're posed with two questions. And this has come after decades of being in the industry. do you say no or do you grow from there? So in school, I used to play a lot of basketball, and pivot is a very important move. So where do you pivot when this has come? So I was like, okay, on to the next.
On to the next. That's a very positive way of thinking. It's not so easy. I mean, I don't see a lot of people.
As I said, that thick skin comes from a salesperson. Imagine you go for a meeting, the receptionist is saying, "Nahi, abhi aap nahi aa sakte." You're sitting, waiting, trying to hustle your way. You find your client under a tree smoking, and you're like, "Can I just get this one?" I've done all of that, and that thick skin is just so. Even now, when I have a lot of young people coming and saying, "I want to be a voice actor like you, or I want to do this, and I want to pursue my passion," I ask them two questions: do you know how to run a business? And are you thick-skinned? Can you handle
A lot of rejections?
The rejections, because you could be at the top of your game, but in the entertainment industry and being self-employed, no 2 months look the same. I could have the best month. I could have earned a couple of lakhs in 1 month, and next month, because the work coming in is not in your hands. Are there enough ads being created? Are there more artists coming? There's so much. It's not in your hands. All you can do is have your talent displayed to the world. But so you have to know how to run your stuff like business. You have to be your own marketing person, your brand strategist, your HR, your customer care, everything. You don't have a team, especially when you're starting off. Once you do well, you have, you have people deployed for that. But in the beginning, you have to do it all on your own. And till date, I'm doing everything on my own. Maybe that's me controlling too much, but I've always been like that. And now, so I keep telling people, can you run a business? And are you thick-skinned? Can you survive?
But what was your biggest learning when you ran the band for, let's say, 2.5 years? What was your biggest learning, which you think?
There was so much, but the thing is that there's a lot to learn. Every show can be better. Don't think that, I'm the star. It's never the case, because sometimes you have a technical issue, your guitar string snaps, crowd control. There's so much you have to. So each show comes with its own energy. And as a singer in general, what I've learned and being in a band is that you vibe a lot from the audience. It's a give and take of energy. So when the crowd is vibing with you, you are also feeling that thing. Otherwise you're giving it all. There's nobody moving in the audience.
And then you also get the low.
So
right?
the stage is, being on stage is this different kind of high, and I really miss it. I do get that experience when I'm hosting shows and stuff, and I'm emceeing and anchoring for events. But singing on stage, you get that, there's a spotlight on you. You get that 60 to 90 minutes of just being your most vulnerable self and exposing that to however big the audience is. And so it's a very a personal sort of, you go on this journey on this 60 to 90 minutes. And that was a big learning, that you feel so vulnerable, yet you're trying to be this cool and calm person on stage and trying to keep the audience vibing with you and keeping that energy going. And it's a lot. Energy giving and taking is, right now. So you've had so many guests, and with each guest, you'll have a different energy that comes in. So I think that give and take of energy is what I learned in a band. And, keeping the energy of the bandmates and the audience, and keeping that channel flowing consistently.
And then you move to voiceover, right? I was just trying to think one thing, like you said, and you were explaining me when you're a band, you're very you're a crowd-facing person, right? Like you're saying, vibing with energy. Now you move to voiceover, which is very behind-the-scenes job, right? We hear voiceover all the places. We, to be really honest, as a normal person, I really don't care also. I would not relate it also. So how did you discover voiceover, and what exactly do you do? I've read somewhere voice actor, voiceover. What is it? And how did you move from a front-facing creative person, let's say being in a part of band and being a singer, and you moved into I would say behind the scenes where people suddenly don't know whose voice it is?
Yeah. So for me, when I started voice overs, I would just take up anything that came my way. I would be sending emails and stuff to studios, or anybody would say, and I was working for peanuts, maybe not even peanuts, 1 peanut, I was getting nothing. I just wanted to establish my portfolio. And as I said, it's something I took up and I stumbled onto when I realized that music is a very seasonal industry, and what else can I do? Because I'm somebody who likes to be productive every day. I feel, I need to be doing something. There's that itch inside me. And voiceovers started like that. I didn't have any setup. I've not had any training. And anything that I've done, I haven't had any training. My life has been my training. and I've been exposed to voiceovers. I think I've always been fascinated by voices. And for me, like back in the 90s, there used to be on, I think, Air India, 102.6 FM, there used to be this love doctor. And he had this like really like sexy voice. And he would solve like this Sita Gita's love problems and Rahul. And, like he was like, so aaj love problem mein. And I was fascinated. I mean, it's very weird that a 15-year-old was listening to that. But that time, we didn't have Instagram and all. So I was fascinated by voices. And then my exposure was, you'd call the Delhi Jal Board helpline. And it's like, kripya wait kariye. And I used to be like, "Iti gandi awaaz hai, we need better." And for me, I've always been drawn to voices. You go to Sarojini Nagar and the guy will say, "Aapka dhyan kidhar hai? Saadi ki dukaan idhar hai." That's sales and voice in one go. He's attracting the crowd and he'll say, "Gira, gira, kya gira? Price gira." And everybody's looking down. And those are voice actors on the streets, live in front of you. So I've been so fascinated. I've observed so many voices and I was like, this is something I can do. I feel like, I can. And that's how it started. And sort of really took off from there. I think COVID, I was doing voiceovers for such a long time, but I never really put it out there. And Instagram came in and I started doing these behind the scenes. And it's not about having a good voice. It's voice acting. You're acting. So like right now when you and me are talking, your eyes are seeing, your brain is processing what my expressions, and you're hearing the voice. So you're able to process it much faster. Now you remove the face and you just hear the voice. You have to emote. You have to bring words to life. That's what voice actors do. It's not an easy job when you have to make someone feel something just through your voice. And that's what we do. And we are changing characters. Sometimes you have, if you go on like YouTube and stuff, you're watching your favorite video, suddenly a 6-second ad, I have to convince you that this is the best damn cheese pizza, or buy this, or subscribe to this right now. 6 seconds is all I get for my voice to be combined with a visual or animatic and convince you that, listen, you need to download this app. Buy, get 1 + 1, 50% off, hurry now. So, there's a lot of voice psychology also that goes into it. And our voice is as unique as a thumbprint. It's the most important tool. We use our voice to seduce, flirt, negotiate, threaten someone. And
changes so frequently in terms of...
In fact, if you think about it, all of us are changing our voices. Okay? You're changing your voice. You don't talk to a baby in the same way, the way you talk to your partner or your mother or your father. The only difference is I get paid to change my voice. you don't. So that's the thing. You changing your voice all the time. And I feel like voice is such an important tool people don't focus on. And we need to, because your voice can be used for so many things. There's so many people I know who say, my boss never listens to me because you're saying, "Sir, actually I have something to say." So I'll be like, I'm not interested, because your voice is sounding, when you speak to someone, within the first 10 seconds, you're already able to figure out what the kind of person will that be. A deep voice is associated with power, authority. A lighter, shriller voice, a voice, like if you're nervous, it'll tighten. We start stammering. So the voice is already processing things much faster, and it shows your nature and your personality. And people need to understand and use it, even if you're not a voice actor.
So you're saying voice alone is not enough.
Yeah.
So let's say if I were to say, what are the top 2-3 skills you actually need if someone is getting into the industry apart from the voice, right?
Yeah.
Voice is like, I think so, the baseline which you have to have.
Yeah.
But what are the other things?
So it's not about having a good voice. The first thing, if you're getting into the voice industry, is you should be able to emote. You should be able to act through your voice. You should be able to modulate. And like any other muscle, the voice can be trained. It's a vocal cord. Okay. You can train that. So people who do mimicry are able to copy someone's voice. I'm not great at mimicry. I can't do that. I have a difference. So I do more of, ads and stuff. I have certain genres I can play around with, but mimicry is like a very hard thing, which people, you'll hear Amitabh Bachchan. And they're so good. You can't tell.
I mean, these days you see so many people are so good. And actually, that was my next question. Actually, you can prepare yourself for you. It's not that I have a really bad voice. That means I can't do anything. You can actually prepare for it.
So see, there's one thing I believe, that talent will open doors, but resilience is what is going to keep it open. So if you have any talent, you have to be like practicing and be consistent. And the voice is something that can be trained. I was telling you that you can, so our mouth moves in a certain way. So let's say somebody who eats up words or is talking like this, and this is how they'll talk. But if you change the way your mouth moves, your voice changes. There's more power. We have a head voice. We have a chest voice. We have a voice that comes from the stomach, and there's suddenly more power. There's more depth. It's more amplified. But if I talk like this from the chest, it'll be fine. And my head voice will be slightly like this because, so there's so much we need to understand. It's a very fascinating
thing. Very ignored, I would say, ignored part of
See how many
personalities,
times you're having an argument with your partner, and let's say you've had a really bad fight, and the person will come and say sorry. And what is the immediate thing we say? Say it like you mean it, because we don't. Sorry. So we need to say sorry. Yeah. Like there's so much there. Two people will not say the same thing the same way. So let's say you say something like, okay, welcome to this podcast. I'll say, welcome to this podcast. And as a voice artist, you need to understand pitch. So pitch is, the height of your voice. Then the tone, which is the intent, and the pause, which is the power. These three things are very important in the voice industry. Learn how to modulate your voice, not just about having a unique texture. That works, but you need to be able to play around with emotions through your voice. That's what voice acting is all about.
So you mentioning voice acting, and I'm now just thinking about acting. Let's say move to Bollywood.
Yeah.
Everyone cannot have great voice.
Yeah.
It's just not possible.
Yeah.
Or everyone.
Yeah.
So how does it work in the Bollywood industry where they may be very good actors?
Yeah.
Let's say you would have really good actors, really good action actors, really good acting skills, but not voice skills.
Yeah.
But it's equally important to have a good voice while acting. So how does it work in Bollywood then?
Then we have dubbing that comes in. So see, the thing is, the voice industry is divided into many things. We have dubbing, we have anime, we have mimicry, we have corporate videos, documentaries, and digital ads and TV ads. These are different categories where, as a voice artist, you can enter. So figure out, like somebody who's great at mimicry is your thing. If you're great at doing a lot of character voices, look at dubbing and anime, because we use a lot of character voices. So you have to figure out where you want to slot. Now, a lot of actors are great at emoting through their face, eyes, expressions, but not through their voice. And that's when dubbing, voice actors come into place. And everybody, like all your top Bollywood stars, in ads, their voices are dubbed, because also for more clarity, for more depth, for just sometimes the expression hasn't come out right, but you've already shot the ad. So a voice actor will come in and dub that.
But then I'll know it's fake.
You won't. They're that good.
So, I mean, if there is some actor who's speaking and I'm particularly used to their voice and suddenly I'm seeing an ad, I'll not be able to tell the difference.
You won't be able to tell.
Wow.
There's a lot of the top actors, without naming, but a lot of the top actors, their voices are dubbed. Their voice is either too shaky, or that sort of pitch is not right, or tone is not right. And there's a whole industry thriving on that. And these actors are doing a fantastic job dubbing for ads or, films, and long hours in the studio, just dubbing their voices, matching, reading their lips. There's a lot that goes on. It's not, as I said, a lot of people are like, voice actor, aapko to mic ke samne bas bolna padta hai. And it's not that. There's so many more layers to it. It's not easy. Like, imagine as a voice actor, you've had a bad day and suddenly you have to do this like super
happy,
welcome to this, that. And it's not. You have to give it your all, because the audience has to be convinced that this is what this voice is telling me.
So you being in Delhi, I mean, Bombay is like the market then, right? In terms of, so how do you go about your work? I mean, out here, is it tough not being in Bombay to get work? And I'm just trying to think, you've still done a lot of work for corporates, like be it Zomato, Amazon, Taj, and so many. So it's more corporate focus for you. So I just want to understand 3-4 examples from you. Let's say if you were to do just for the audience to understand, how do you change the voice? Say if we are here for 3 minutes, how do you change your voice for different ads?
Okay.
So they understand that what goes behind it. And now you're not even prepared.
No, I'm not prepared. So the answer to your first question, that Bombay is the hub. It is where, Hollywood is LA. You will have to be in Bombay. So at Delhi, in Delhi, what I get is maybe 75% of the work. I would have been a billionaire by now in Mumbai. But in Bombay, there's a lot of dubbing work happens in the studios. In Delhi, I'm somebody, like, if someone throws a challenge, I'll be like, now you watch. So everybody's like, you can't make it big as a voice artist. And I was so determined to make it happen. And I was so passionate about this. I was like, I'm going to make it happen. So I was, again, a salesperson. You make a map and you make this whole chart about what is the work that I can pick up. So digital ads, television ads, corporate videos, internal videos, animatics, documentaries, IVRs, when you call up a helpline, so all of these things, I was like, this is coming because this can be done from anywhere, not just required to be in a film studio. And that's the kind of work I focused on. And sort of, see, as I said, you choose what, either you, the whole thing of when an obstacle comes, do you say no or do you grow? And I was like, pivot, let me just rechange my plan. Okay, I can't be the dubbing artist. I can't be the voice, of this and this, of this star, but I can get this stuff. And I started doing that, focusing on that. And yeah, so like, I'm very bad at remembering scripts, but let's say like, if you call an IVR, so the IVR voice is, please stay on the line. Someone will assist you shortly. So that is one. And then on a Zomato ad, eat what you like, order now on Zomato and get up to 50% off. So there's this like rush of 6 seconds. Then let's say something like a premium brand. A premium brand, you want to sound classy and the audience is very like, it's a premium. So let's say Taj, where every area gives you comfort and luxury. Or something like Ambi Pure, har jagah wahi ehsaas, wahi fragrance, something like that. So we change our voices. I do mother's role, I do like a young teenage role. So we get into that whole, okay, what am I playing? What is the character? And that's how we sort of change our voices.
So when you get work, how do you debrief so is it that you get briefing? Like you just mentioned that whether it's a luxurious ad or whether it's a mass ad or whatever it is, you debrief yourself or you think yourself how the voice has to be modulated, or someone directs you that this is how I want it?
It happens both ways. Mostly like for bigger campaigns, there will be an agency or a production house. They'll have a briefing with you. This is the kind of tone we want. It always helps, what is the music playing in the background? Because it's not just my voice and this is how it'll be.
There will be visuals also.
Yeah,
so you'll have to think of the visuals.
So if your music is like dick chick, uspe aap ek slow voiceover, it'll be a complete mismatch. It'll look like something has just been slapped over. So you have to feel all the layers that go for a film to really come and punch you and make the audience feel. It's so everything from the visuals, are they fast visuals, slow visuals? We take all of this in mind and then the voice. So the voice is like that final icing on the cake that goes. Your everything has happened and then the voice is the one that is like, okay, not the face, but the voice that will tell you to do something or subscribe to something or buy something or download this, whatever it is. And so a lot of times we are briefed. It actually helps because there's so many decision makers, and so it helps when they've given us a brief and we're like, okay, this is how we need to do the voiceover. But also now, because I've been doing it for so long, in my head, I already know that this is the kind of tone that would work. And a lot of times I feel like clients don't know what they want. So even if they say that they want this voice, but we'll give them options. So we record a bunch of takes and give it to the client. Like I remember I had this one client, which was a very mass brand. And they're like, nee, hum aise premium. It was it was in a small city. It was some shopping mall. And they said, ki, aaye is shopping mall mein aur ye maza. And it was not working. And I kept saying, this is like, and it wohi ghuma phira ke, aaye apne bachon ke saath is shopping mall mein. And that is the voice that works in the end. So I knew that would be the voice that will take it in the end. But for the client's sake, I was like, okay. So, it's that's how we got to roll.
But someone, more of an audience question, that someone, if wants to get into this industry, how does it work? Where do they start? Let's assume I have a voice, but let's say I want to enter the voice industry. Be it anywhere. It could be dubbing, it could be mimicry, it could be whatever. How does someone start in this line? Because again, you would have lots of voiceover artists, you would have lots of competition. How do I start? Where do I start?
So for me, when I started, there was no guidance. I didn't know anything. I would sit and Google everything. Who do I contact? What do I do? And I think that also kind of helped in that thick skin and that resilience of like, okay, when you do all the dirty work, it really kind of toughens you up. And so for me, I quickly realized that, so anybody who wants to enter this industry, you have to remember that you want to give your voice to big brands. You can't contact the big brands. The big brands hire professionals, which are agencies or production houses. The agency will be the one who will direct the production house. The production house is the one that's shooting everything and stuff. So these are the professionals who who are looking out for the talent to cast in the ad, for the music, for the voice, for the cinematographer, color grading, everything. They are looking for the professionals who will put that ad together. So you sliding into the DMs of a big brand will not work. So like any other, if you were an actor or a model, what do you have to do? You first have to have your profile. So no photographs here. Here it's our voice. So you create some samples now. It's very easy for people to create. You have a phone, go into a cupboard, no noise, nothing, record a sample, try and show. If you think you have a versatile voice, you can play many characters. Whatever you think your voice can do or is capable of doing, create those samples, because you have to be able to convince the people that this is my voice. I think this is great. So have a good profile, your portfolio. Your voice showreel is your portfolio. And then you get in touch with production houses and agencies, and that's it. You got to knock on a lot of doors before one opens up. But that's what I said, that talent will open the door, but the resilience is what will keep it open. Resilience is what decides whether you get your 5th chance or 50th chance or 100th chance.
And you never know where you'll hit. I mean, it could be...
You'll never. And I've till
But do you still, let's say you've been in this industry for so many years, would you still at your level get rejections?
Yeah, I think a couple of days ago, I got rejected for 3 projects that I was really, really hoping to bag. But I didn't get it. And that's okay. I think it kind of tells you that, okay, I got to work. I don't want to ever feel like I've made it, because then what is the fun in that? We're all students. We're continuously learning. And I still, like when
That's
I go
very different than what creative people generally think, right?
I know, but I think everybody...
In today's time at least, where people say...
I like to be more grounded about it. And I feel like, because when you feel like you've made it, you don't put in that effort. You don't study more. You don't learn more. And I don't want that. I feel like there's so much to... I'm not a master of something. I'm still learning. I'm still understanding, things. And I'm trying to be better than yesterday, about whatever I was doing. And for me, I get rejected so many times. There's so many things that I've wanted to voice, but I haven't got them. And you just keep going. And there were times where when I started doing these voiceover reels and stuff, and then of course many more voice actors came onto the scene, and I felt like, okay, work has been slowing down, and I'm not someone who's afraid. So I will sit down, start my emails, and reaching out to old clients that, hey, connecting. And I've said this before, so people are so afraid to reach out for work. But if you have that, I wake up with this hunger every day. Like, I'm so passionate, and I think when I go away from this world, I just want people to remember that, okay, this was the girl with the fire in her, and I don't want that fire to die. So if I have to make that call, if I have to call up a client or reach out to somebody I've worked with before, I will not shy away from doing that. And if you can't do that, then, who else will? Correct. So you should be able to, if you are not able to sell your own skill, you can't expect someone else to sell it for you. So that's your first, you should be able to do that.
And what also I've seen typically with a lot of creative people, they're very bad in understanding business part and in the finance part, right?
Yeah.
So what are your learnings from a financial point of view? Because, I've spoken to a few friends who've been in bands or in the industry or, creative industry, I would say. They go so much into their creativity that they forget the business angle to the story, which is very important. That's what you're doing it for.
Yeah.
So I just want to understand, what are the financial mistakes which you have done, which people can learn from, and what you have learned actually from that, because that's very important also to understand the business side of the creativity as well, or your voiceover, right? You just can't go, okay, I'm recording, I'm so talented, I'm getting 100 things, but your business side is very weak.
True. So as I said, that anything that you do, no matter what you do, if you're not a voice actor, like any talent that you, graphic designer, you're photographer, singer, whatever you are, you have to run it like a business, So as I said, you have to take up all the different roles. You have to understand how to price your skill or your talent. If you're not able to do that, what are you selling? People say, nahin, main paise ke liye nahi kar raha. Fir kiske liye kar rahe ho? You're obviously left everything. You putting your heart and soul, blood, sweat, tears into something. So if you're not looking to get any financial gain, then why are you doing this? Then don't feel bad when you don't get the opportunities. So that's the biggest bullshit I've heard when people say, don't do it for the money. I used to be, when I started off, I was this naive person. I was like, okay, don't. But then I was like, no, hold up. I have to do it for the money. It is the thing that is keeping the roof above my head. So understanding pricing, what are the market rates of whatever you're doing, hiking up your price every year. Don't you do that in a corporate job? You get a 10% increment or whatever. So this is a business. You are the product and you are selling something. So you need to, and people are so, the thing of, that's the thing with creative and also self-employed that, oh, am I overcharging or am I undercharging? And then shall I undercut? I don't want to lose this out. But you have to believe in your talent. And that's the thing about doing something that you're so passionate about, because you have to believe in yourself even the days when no one else believes in you, and stick to your, what you've created and learn about account. I had to do all of that. I had to, accounting and this GST. I hate all of this. I hate it from the bottom of my heart, but it's so important because I know what my skill set is worth, what is the price, sometimes, and especially in the self-employed industry, you can't work on a fixed rate. It's a very variable thing. Sometimes you get something, especially in voice industry, like you get a voiceover. Let's say a company says, okay, we have like 10 voiceovers. Now I have to give them a certain discount on that, or like a bulk rate, which is how it works. Same with singing or anything that, you have to work on it. So there's no fixed rate.
It's a very fluid thing anyways.
Yeah,
There could be a big account which you want to enter, right?
Yeah.
You may get scale from them.
Exactly. There are times where I've cut down on cost because I really wanted to work with that brand. And I knew that the one shot I'll get, they'll come back to me and then I can charge what and these are things that you need to think about. So I know a lot of people shy away from it and even putting themselves out there. I know such talented people in different fields. Nay, I can't do content. I can't. But the point is we have to adapt to the way the world is moving. And it is about putting yourself out there. It is the new LinkedIn or your resume is that socially. People first say, okay, how many...
Actually, मुझे लगता है resume से ज़्यादा लोग social media जाते हैं just to see the person, because the all-round thing you'll get in social media is more than what you'll get in resume.
You're able to judge the kind of personality, who are you dealing with. In fact, I know corporates who go through people's social media to figure out what is the kind of personality they're hiring. Sure. And it is the new thing. You have to be... See, the thing is that if you don't put yourself out there, it's not like there's nobody else talented out there. There are thousands of other people waiting and they will come and grab it. So 100%. It's a grab first opportunity. Take what comes your way, but also be sure of what direction you're going in and learn. You have to be able to understand the business side of it, which includes your finance, your accounting. What am I like as a singer? We had to when I would get like money from shows and stuff, I had to plan it. Okay, I'm going to put this much aside for music videos and spend on social media marketing and boosting ads and all of that. Those are decisions that we had to make and that you have to do for your business. So okay, I'm going to spend money on this. I'm going to get a photo shoot done. This much will go in this. So you have, it is a business. It is a business. You're self-employed, you're your own boss, but it's a business. You have to run it like a business. So comes back to the question that I said, that when you want to take the plunge of following your passion, do you know how to run a business? If not, please go learn up about it and then take the plunge.
Just kind of creativity. Just being so fanatic about that I'm great or my creativity is great will not solve.
Even if today an actor goes, I'm left my hometown and I'm going to Bombay to become an actor, what next? Where are you going to stay? What are the finances? What are your grocery bills going to look like? Have you calculated all of that? Correct. What do you do? What do you do if you don't get your next big project?
It's a practical challenge which people ignore also.
It's not. Unless you have a lot of money, great, go for it, dream, la la la. But if you don't, you got to be practical about it and, carry your eggs very carefully. And it's, as I said, run it like a business.
So tell us about the voiceover diary content. And a bit about that as well.
So as I said that when coming from a profession where I was on stage in the spotlight, moving to a career where I'm behind the scenes, but I'm always like, people should know. And I was so proud of the work I was doing. I was so proud of the voiceovers I was doing. And I used to share just the whole ad before, that this is the voiceover I've done. And it wasn't getting that kind of attraction. I was like, what the hell, man? I've done such a great job. My voice, I think I've worked really hard for it. So I started doing behind the scenes where I would show me recording the voiceover while the ad was playing. And that kind of blew up, and I started doing these prank calls on customer care, and then I moved to Voice 101 where I'm teaching people, because I felt that it's people still don't know about this industry. And most voice actors, there are people who are far bigger than me, who've done much bigger projects, but people don't know their names. And I wanted people, as I said, I want people to know who I am. It's a short life. I want people to know people should know who Tanya Nambiar is. And I started doing these things, and now I'm just giving out whatever sort of, because I don't have time to coach. That is something I will pivot to next. I want to do vocal coaching and voice coaching. But as of now, I just want to give out information and help people, because I feel like I like to give back in whatever way I can. And it's something that it's helping and it's working. And not just people who are voice actors, but anybody, a college professor, a teacher, everybody's using their voice, but people don't know how to. And that's the thing Voice 101 is all about, learning the psychology behind voice, communicating, because you're communicating with your partner or anyone, your voice plays a very important role, and we need to study it and understand it. And if I can make it slightly easier through my little videos, then...
So it's through Instagram where you...
Yeah. Because I can't write so much on LinkedIn. So it's easier for me to yap.
So obviously you've mentioned you get bored very fast.
Yeah.
Right? And that was a question I had.
Yeah.
That it looks like you get bored very fast. And now you're an entrepreneur as well. I mean, two questions I have. Is it that you are getting bored? One.
Yeah.
Or is it that, again, there is... Scalability is a problem in this business, for example, in the voiceover business. You think scalability is a problem because of lack of work? I mean, or not so many projects, because considering you have so many people?
Yeah.
Or is it again that you're getting bored and you want to, go into the entrepreneur journey as well?
So this is not boredom. The entrepreneurial journey has not been boredom. It has been an idea that has sparked from something. So whatever sort of business, like we have a hot sauce business, which we have called El Diablo Sauces. I have started a kids YouTube channel called The Kiddie Club. To people, I think what I do seems a little bit like crazy and insane, that there's so much. But for me, it's just creative satisfaction. And as I said, whether it works or not, I don't know. I give it my all. My mom has always told me, ki agar aapko juice wala bhi banna hai na, give it your 200%. Be the best damn juice wala in the world. So give it your all. Otherwise, don't do it. So for me, everything has sparked. Like, I think the singing and the microphone related stuff came out of boredom and let me do this. But now I'm much older, I'm a mom, and it's been more like, okay, this has sparked an idea. Let's try this. I think we can do this and let's give it a shot. So that's how it's been, more of a creative spark that has led to something or the other. And I've realized that not just work, even in my personal life, I'm somebody who does a lot. I have 2 kids, I have 3 dogs. So I'm a dog walker, then I'm going and recording voiceovers, then I'm changing diapers, and there's just too much. I think I thrive in chaos. Yeah, I'm that person who thrives in chaos. So the day chaos stops, I'll be like, it's the flat line for me.
And how is in this industry the global market? I'm just trying to understand. In India, we spoke everything about India. Globally, how does it work? Is it still very big industry, or it's again a very small niche industry? Again, totally behind the scenes. How is it? Have you studied it?
It's a big industry. The thing is, it's really big for someone. As an Indian voice artist, if you can do accents, I am not good at accents. So if you can do a British accent or an American accent, then of course, the whole world is there.
Because they also would be doing dubbing, I'm sure.
Yeah,
it's not just India-centric.
It's a big industry.
Dubbing would happen in Hollywood also, in all these industries as well.
It's a big industry. And in fact, overall, if I look at it, the industry has really changed from now. See, now it's not just big brands that are doing. We have so many small homegrown brands that are doing their social media content, and they're putting out ads. You look at really, really small brands that are doing ads compared to, so let's say there's a brand like Arata, which is an Indian hair care brand, which is it's a homegrown brand, compared to like the Parachute and Dove, which are like, huge. And they're all these brands that are doing ads, and they've understood the social media game. They're doing content. They're all working on it. That yes, and every brand needs a voice, and this applies.
You need an attractive voice. I mean, again, like you said, if it's like me speaking English so bad, I mean, so I'm just trying to say that there is a brand voice.
The brand voice is a Nike would be like a just do it. It won't be like a just do it. A sports, like if you think of it, sports ads are very like conversational, that making you feel like you're not just running, but you're going to achieve something. You're doing that. It's always a dug 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 music. It's a very like low voice. A luxury ad will have like this premium voice. Durex will have like a very sensual voice, and each brand has a voice. What is the voice that you're trying to? Because your brand, even your designs, your packaging is giving out some sort of communication to the audience. Are you colorful, are you black and white? So there's a brand language and communication in every layer. So the voice is also, and this happens globally. So if somebody can do a lot of accents, you can do the French accent, of course, then you can reach out and work with global clients. But what I have is called the neutral Indian accent, where it's not like the Appu from Simpsons or something, where we're not talking like that, but this is a neutral Indian global accent, which is acceptable. So I do work with, let's say, a client from Dubai or Singapore, but mostly my clients are, India, but it's a big industry, big industry. And now I think with so many ethnicities coming in films and stuff, also in Hollywood and stuff, we have a huge thing for dubbing. We have so many Indian actors who've dubbed for films abroad, and which is great. So there's a lot happening. There's a lot of anime that's come in. Indian anime industry is huge. So the world, it's just growing. I think it's just growing from here.
But like you just mentioned, there's obviously now, like you said, there's small brands also use one. Now there's a flip side to this as well, which is AI. And the reason why I'm saying is, if you go to 11 Labs or if you go to, there's so many of them, they're very, 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 very good.
Very good.
Right? And with each passing week and month, they're getting very, very, very good.
Yeah.
How do you survive in an age where they're much cheaper and you can dictate? I mean, you can speak to AI how you really want it. Maybe a human being, it's tougher for a human being to modulate it that way.
Yeah.
So how do you see the industry, and how do you, because I've seen it and it's crazily good.
It is good. It's so funny sometimes I think about it that we are now competing with the machines that we have built. That's the irony of it, right? We're like, we built this to make it easier. Now we're like, oh God, please don't eat my job up. But it is a dark reality that is there. I have noticed like a drop in, so like internal videos when like a big client, a big company like ONGC or any of these petrol companies or big government bodies, when they would complete like 50 years, 20 years, they have those internal videos playing for their bosses and presentations. That used to all come to us. Now it goes to AI because it's easier. Internal video pe kyun
And consistent.
And it's consistent,
And forever.
And now they are really good, the voices, but I feel like now human voice will become sort of a luxury. The corporates and stuff are still using AI, heavily using AI. Even people on Reels are using AI. They don't want to do voiceovers if they don't have a good voice there. Even like a get ready with me video is being done through an AI voiceover. But the brands that are putting out TV ads and digital ads have understood the importance of human voice. And I feel like there is a certain thing which AI, at least for now, cannot do, which is like, when a client tells you, अच्छा यहाँ पे आप smile करके थोड़ा सा pitch drop करके यहाँ पे crack ले आओ. You can't, what sort of prompt do you give that to AI? It's getting better, but you can still, voice, you can still tell, because this is just one.
Can you tell the difference if I were to play an AI voice?
Yeah. Mostly I'll be able to tell. Like when I look at like visual photographs and stuff, you can easily tell. But voice, I'm able to tell pretty clearly that this is AI, because there's no crack in the voice. There's no like see right now there's a coming, but then it goes smooth. There's just so many textures, and the human voice also runs on experiences and memories, which AI cannot do. Let's say something like, any line that you take, AI will just do it that, okay, this is the kind of voice I want, clear, funny, or heavy voice, or light voice. A human would say that with the kind of emotion and experience attached to each word. So I feel like it will become a niche thing. It's not going to die out, because there is, at the end of the day, a human voice is, a machine can't do that in terms of like completely taking over emotions. A machine cannot go through trauma. A machine cannot go through experiences. We can input all of that, but the human voice still will be A. So it is a challenging thing. I don't know how, in the next 5 years, 10 years, it's going to be, and everything's being eaten up. But I think it'll come to a point where we'll have to learn to work with AI. So like, let's say if a client reaches out to me saying, okay, I want a Malayalam. I can't do regional languages. Can you do a Malayalam voiceover? I can train the AI to use my voice and do it regional. But also fees will go up, because I'm giving rights over my voice to someone. And that has become a very scary thing, because clients want that. I'm getting those inquiries, but they don't want to pay that kind of amount. I mean, I'm giving you my voice for 1 year usage. So now I'm sitting
It's
with...
like how actors do it, right?
Exactly.
That they will shoot one day and then for 1 year they will give that you use the ads.
Yeah, you're using that, and that has to be. So I think it's a shift which both client and the talent need to understand. There are a lot of legal procedures coming in, because right now also anybody can take my voice from any ad, and so I'm like now sitting with the lawyer and trying to legalize it, and how do I do it? It's a lot. How do you do it?
You've seen this issues?
Not right now, but now the thing is that if I find someone who's used my voice, I will go after their blood, because you've used my voice without. So I think it's a very gray area right now, because people are still understanding it. Nobody has really come across. I haven't seen.
And the industry is also nascent, I think. So
it's nascent.
As it grows and gets more mature, then...
because I've heard some great AI voices, but I think, maybe it'll come down to me finally training a machine, and maybe that's my profession next. I don't know.
So you're next.
Yeah. Like as I said, voice coaching is what I'm looking at, but maybe I'll be sitting with machines and robots and giving them training and charging like an arm and a leg to someone. But if that's what I have to do, I'll have to do. But I still feel the human voice will trump over everything.
I also think that it may come down to that there will be so much like content we see today.
Yeah.
There's so much of AI content coming up that people would love to see a non-AI content. Or maybe realistic. I mean, today people want, because it looks so crazily good, which you can't create normally.
Yeah.
And so people would love to see that AI content.
Yeah.
And we'll reach a stage, I think, so people would like to see the more human content.
See, and that is that circle we see with everything. When social media came, Instagram, now people are like getting off. The new Gen Z trend is to not post anything. Like posting too much is like considered like no. It's so Gen Z is now posting less or not posting. So everything comes, it sweeps and then it blows up in our faces and it goes off. And I think that's something that we've seen. I was giving a parenting discussion to people, and I was telling people that we are now training kids for jobs that don't exist. We're teaching them about technologies that we haven't understood fully yet. But that's the world we're entering, and it is scary. But as I said, that as humans, we've always learned to adapt. We kind of work in that way. We've understood adaptability, and at least for survival, you have to. We've been doing it since eons. Like as cavemen, if you wanted to survive, you had to be with the herd, not just stand out. But that's the game we have to play, and I think there are many changes that are going to come, but you just got to learn to move with times.
Few rapid fire for you. So most ridiculous direction you've ever been given?
This is what I said, that this client is a chotu sa mall and they're saying premium mall, and then I had to say वही अपना full like घाटी आवाज में मुझे बोलना था कि आइए बच्चों के साथ मस्ती करिए. So the direction went completely opposite. I think clients sometimes want that, we want it to sound like this, but at the end of the day,
what works is that only.
What works is that.
Right. A brand you really aspire to work with?
Anybody who knows me knows that it's I manifest every day. I want to be the voice for Google Maps. I don't like the current voice. I wanted like a sexy voice telling you, take a left, take a right, stop now, traffic on the way, something like that.
And that's one voice, right? One voice recorded.
Yeah, I think one for the international, the accent. Yeah, and we have like, yeah. So, but I want to be the voice for Google Maps.
What's a bigger thrill for you, singing or voiceover?
Oh God, that's like comparing two different drugs. I enjoy both. Singing is a different high. It's like, as I said, that you being on stage, you being, you connect, people are hearing.
I need to understand one big thrill. Don't tell me.
Okay. I think like for now, since I've been doing it and I've seen more success in it, I would say voiceovers. Yeah, I love it. I love every second that I can be a mother, then be a seductive person at the end of it, and then selling like a milkshake to someone. It's fun. I get to be a different character every day.
Worst career advice you've ever got?
पैसे के लिए मत करो, बस ऐसे दिल लगा के करो, and just go all in. Everything will work out. It doesn't work out. You have to know what you're doing.
Any campaign which really made you nervous before recording it? I'm sure. Do you get nervous when you, or no? It's not like.
Actually, I get nervous when in the studio the clients are like looking through the glass window, and that becomes like.
It's like that only. So the studio setup is like how you sing.
No. I mean, my setup is I'm working alone, but no, I don't think I've ever been. Probably in the beginning when I was nervous, I was understanding. Now for me, it's just like okay, I'm in the zone. I've never been nervous like that. Earlier, it used to be when I didn't have a setup and I would go and there's so many people waiting, giving you directions, it would get very confusing. But now that I do it from my setup, or even if I meet clients at a studio, it's fun. As I said, I'm so passionate about it. I'm like, okay, what character am I playing today? So I've not been nervous now.
One last question. And I think so this question is more for the audience, not just share from your experience that I would say if rejection is so guaranteed in such a creative line and stability is not, right? What makes worth the risk taking? And maybe, I mean, from a learning perspective, it's an overall thing, but how have you learned from, I mean, why is it worth the risk? Doing a career where rejection is so guaranteed in terms of the number of rejections, like you said, are so much more than acceptance. So,
because at the end of the day, when you sleep at night, you're like, wow, I've put my talent out there. If you have that, not everybody should be self-employed or quitting their jobs. Some people are great at jobs. They love their jobs. The point is, whatever you're doing, if you're doing your dream career or something that you've always envisioned or something you found you're good at least you're at ease, because life is so challenging. There's so many things coming your way. We're dealing with mental health and so many things, and it just gets too much that you should at least have some satisfaction about what you're spending so much time doing. And if that isn't what you love, then you need to find what you love. So all of that. And I think there's risk in everything. Today, people can get laid off also. COVID saw that. People were losing out jobs. There's no guarantee. You could be a rich person having a business and suddenly your business fails. There's no guarantee in anything, whether you are in a secure job or whatever. The point is that whatever the amount of time you're spending away from your family, taking those calls, putting in your hard work and effort and driving down to a certain place, whatever you're doing, if you don't feel creatively satisfied at the end of the day, I mean, for me, at least I can look in the mirror and say, okay, I'm happy. I'm doing what I'm doing. Even if I failed at something that I loved and I did it. So that makes it worth it.
Great. Tanya, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Interesting conversation. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.